Okay, so this video is for the purpose of showing you how to use the Concur expense reporting system that Salisbury has provided to us. This is a very expensive and complicated system, but what we're going to be using it for is not complicated at all. We will just be using it to categorize and submit our credit card expenses. So I'm going to start with logging in, then I'm going to show you how to access the expenses that have been pulled in. Then I'm going to show you how to categorize them, how to upload the receipts, and then how to submit the expense report. So here we go. I am logging in. Hopefully you have your login credentials already. If you don't, they will be provided to you. So I'm logging in. And like I said, this is a very difficult, very detailed, very powerful system, but they have just given us access to one little portion, so we can't get ourselves in too much trouble. So it's actually pretty simple. So as soon as I log in, I can see that I have an open report. And what this is telling me is that my September credit card expenses, which equal $12,579 and change, these expenses have been imported into Concur, but now I need to do something with them. So if I click on that, it's going to show me all the expenses once I click on this again. So Concur actually connects to the credit card provider, so all your purchases will show up here. So these are all my purchases in the month of September that will equal the total, which was 12,000 and change. So as you can see, each one is listed, and I've already categorized a lot of these. So I'm going to start with the ones that I haven't done yet. And those begin here. You can see this one, for instance, this little blue thing, this shows that I've uploaded a receipt. If I want to look at it, I could click here and it would download a PDF. And this actually gives me the details of the transaction. And if I go up a little bit, I can see there's one here that has a little exclamation point. This tells me there's a problem. The problem is that it's not categorized, and that's because Concur doesn't know what Amazon Marketplace means. You know, it doesn't know what kind of purchase I made. With other ones, like this FedEx shipping charge I did here, it knows that because it was FedEx, that it's courier shipping freight. So it's automatically choosing the category based on it knowing what FedEx is. That's why I don't have an exclamation point. However, it may be wrong. So I'm still going to have to check and see that it chose the right category, and I can change it if I want to. Now, one thing that's very important before you even get started is to make sure you have all your receipts and make sure you have them all readily accessible and easy to identify. As you can see, I have all of my September receipts in a folder called September 2020. And I put the date of the receipt at the beginning of the file name and then the amount at the end. That way it's very easy to find. And I'll show you why that matters here. If we go back, so my first one I'm going to do here is Adobe EchoSign. So it has determined, because it's an Adobe charge, that this must be network and computer. And it may very well be. So now that I've clicked on it, I have some choices over here. So I'm going to choose what it is. And in this case, it looks like it chose correctly, network, computer, IT. It's automatically going to populate the date. Business purpose, now it's just pulling in the last thing I wrote in my last thing. So I need to change this and just say what it is. This is software. It's already got the vendor name there. It's already got the amount. It's got the city of purchase, which must be wherever Adobe did the charge, which was Memphis, Tennessee, for whatever reason. I don't need to select that. The region is always going to be management and Salisbury management, at least for now, because the credit card I have is actually a Salisbury credit card and not an HLC card. We're going to get HLC cards eventually, and when that happens, our specific categories will show up here, but for now, it's just going to default to Salisbury management, and that's fine. Now, in the comment, I need to tell them what location this was for. So if you're buying, a book for the Lancaster branch, you need to say Lancaster. If you're buying something for a student and it's auxiliary funds, you should say Lancaster auxiliary funds or something like that. I'm going to categorize this as overhead, which is actually now called support. That's what they call overhead, because this is a software program that's used by a bunch of our overhead employees and a few others. But something like this, I wouldn't try to break out by location. So I'm just going to say support. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my receipt. So I'm going to look at this really quick and see, okay, it's 922, 270. I click attach receipt, browse. I go to 922, Adobe 270, there it is. You can see now why I have the date and the amount. Open, that pulls it up, attach, and now that receipt is attached. I can look at it if I click on this tab, although it's just going to be a PDF that I'd have to download. You'll notice there's a little thing here called available receipts. This is where you can email all your receipts to Concur and it will just keep them here in a queue. I haven't done that. I don't know that there's a good reason to do it that way. I prefer to do it the way that I'm doing it. So now that I've got that expense categorized, I've said what location it's for, I've attached the receipt, I'm going to say save. And now you'll notice the receipt image is here, this little icon, and now that one's done. Now I'm going to do the next one. It's chosen seminar courses fees, which is probably the best category we could find. So that's fine. What is it? I'm going to say this is an ODE license. I'm going to say this is for Columbus. No, it is. And I'm going to attach receipt. And this is $923 for $25. $923 ODE permit, $25. Attach. Save. On to the next one. FedEx, courier shipping freight, that is good. Shipping bills to Linda, defaulted to this, but that's actually what it was, so that's fine. I'm going to say support, aka overhead. I'm going to attach a receipt. This is $923 for $28.70. $923, $28.70. Attach. Save. Now this next one, I'm going to pretend that I don't know where the receipt is. So first I want to look at the receipts and see what this actually was. 3570. Let's see, what was it? 3547. 10 student Chromebooks. Okay, so this would be auxiliary funds. If I didn't have my receipt, I can do a lost receipt affidavit, which is kind of a last resort. I wouldn't recommend you do that too often because if you keep losing receipts, they're going to start to question you. So I'm going to choose my category here. I'm going to call this network and computer. For students, I'm going to say this is Columbus. Say aux funds so they know. And notice it says here, no receipt, create a missing receipt affidavit. If you click there, it just pops up a thing and you just have to agree that you swear on whatever, that you made this purchase and that it was a legitimate business purpose and that you can't find the receipt. But I have the receipt, so I'm going to go ahead and attach it. Save that. And I got one more to go. This is a GoDaddy charge. This is for a website domain renewal. It chose telephone fax, which I don't like. I'm going to say, I think we're going to call this network and computer. I don't really know where else to put it. So we're just going to do that. And I'm going to say domain fees. Support, because that's an overhead item. I can't allocate that to an individual location. And this is GoDaddy 2816, attach, save. Now, you'll notice all of my expenses are now categorized and I have a receipt uploaded for each one. Now I can submit report. Now I have to certify, blah, 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 accept and submit. Successfully submitted. And now you'll see I'm on a screen that shows me my active reports. I've got August, which I'd already done at the beginning of September. Status was approved. I just did September. It's submitted pending approval from Linda Prell. And that's it. So that's the basics. I'm sure this thing can do a lot more. Once you get in here, you might figure out some shortcuts or some other ways to do it. If you do, feel free to share that with everyone. This is how I've been doing it. It's a good idea to keep up with it. I wouldn't recommend waiting till the end of the month to do them all. I would do maybe a session in the middle of the month, especially if you have a lot of charges like I usually do. Do a session somewhere around the 15th, get caught up, and then do another one at the end of the month. These need to be done pretty soon at the end of the month. You can't wait days and weeks. They haven't given me a hard deadline, but we have to be able to close the books within 7 days at the end of the month. And this is one of the things that has to be done for us to close the books. So I can tell you that they will expect this probably no later than the 2nd or 3rd of the month for the prior month's expenses. So that's it. I showed you how to log in. I showed you how to categorize each expense. I showed you how to upload your receipts, attach them, save them, and I showed you how to submit the report for the entire month. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see what I can do to help you. And